Hi, I'm going to show you some general tools that you can use in Audacity. You are going to learn how to record your own voice, how to impact some music tracks, and some general editing. So first of all, if you look at my screen, you can see that I've already done a recording so that we have something to mess with. How I did this is I went up and I pushed this red record button, said what I wanted to say, and when I was all done I pushed stop. So as a result we have a track in front of us, and obviously you can see the shape of my sound waves and all of that good stuff. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add some music to this, and it's not much, it's just an announcement of who I am. So if we go to File and we go to Import, we're importing audio. Now I already have in my downloads, I have some MP3s that I've already selected. In another podcast we'll go over some things in Sounds Abound, but for right now I'm going to select that one, trying to class it up a bit so we've got some Mozart. And so what it does is it adds an additional track, and what that is that's the classical music piece. If we were to have a listen, we could just put our cursor down there and push play.
This is Mrs. Mortensen. Welcome to room 48 at Waterloo Intermediate School.
And so what you can see is when you put a track below another track, it puts the two pieces of audio together. Now what I want is I want the classical music to be my introduction, and then I want my voice to happen. So if I'm going to do that, I want to slide my music up onto the same track as my voice. So I'm going to have to slide this down. Up in the selection tools, there is it's a time shift tool is what it's actually called. Look, you hover on it and there it is. If I click on it, then I can slide my voice down the track here. If I zoom out a little bit further, there we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to slide, and I might not want this much music anyway. I mean, it's 15 seconds worth of music. That just might be a little bit much. So I slide my voice down on the track, and I can leave my music down here. Actually, I think we will leave my music down here because then we can see how it'll look when we go and do fades and things like that in our general editing. So we added our tracks. Now on my voice recording, it turns out there's some background noises. I'm sitting right next to a fan and I'm sitting right next to a buzzing clock, and I want those things to get out of there. I want to clean it up. For you, you're probably making a recording and there are people talking around you and you don't want that background noise to be there. So this is my voice track. If I zoom in on it, nice and close, and I'll have to scroll down so I can see it again, and you'll probably have to do that a few times. You can look and see when you stretch it out enough where just the extra static is, and the extra static is going to look like the stuff that's on the end. So Audacity has this really fabulous noise canceling tool, but first we're going to go up and we're going to check this selection tool again because we're not shifting in time anymore. Highlight a chunk of what that white noise looks like maybe it's your classmates talking, or for me the buzzing clock. Highlight it, go up to Effect, go up to Noise Removal, and we're going to say Get Noise Profile. This is letting Audacity know what that white noise looks like. So now it's getting the noise profile. Now I can highlight and select this whole line. I have it zoomed in pretty far. This might take a minute. Alright, and then I can go back up to Effect again, back to Noise Removal again, and now we're ready for step 2. We just selected all the audio we wanted filtered, and we want kind of a lot of the noise filtered out. So these are fine. Noise reduction, we'll turn it up, and maybe you have to play with this. Higher sensitivity, and then and it's on remove, and now we can just say OK. And what it's done, you can see that it's skinny down these lines. It's canceled out a lot of that extra white noise. So in the end, it should actually make our voice sound much crisper, and then you don't have your classmates yapping away in the background of your production. So now I don't want my music to sound like my musician got hit by a truck right before I started to talk. So what I'm going to try to do is put a fade on here. Oops, a mistake. So if I go back to here's my music, I'm going to push play, and if we listen,
This is Mrs. Mortensen. Welcome to room 4.
it sounded like my musician just kind of stopped and got hit by a truck, and I have a huge space in there. So there's a lot of extra space that I don't need. My selection tool is checked. I can just highlight the extra. Oopsie, not all that. Yeah. Click once, click again. So I'm highlighting the chunk that I want out. And then all I have to do is hit delete and it'll be gone. So then now what we want to do is we want to actually fade our music in. So I'm going to click on the time shift tool and I'm going to give it a little bit of overlap. Okay, so this means that the music is going to actually come into my voice. Then I'm going to highlight the part that I actually want to be faded. Back up to the selection tool. Highlight not the whole thing, but the part that I want to be faded, which is this end. And I can go to the effects, and I can go, I want fade out. So then what should happen if I hit play?
This is Mrs. Mortensen. Welcome to room.
It still sounds a little bit abrupt, so I'm going to go back up to my time shift tool and I'm going to move this down a little bit. Let's see if my fade actually took effect here. And the selection tool again, highlight what I want to fade. Effect, fade out, and have a listen. You'll do a lot of this.
This is Mrs. Mortensen. Welcome to room 40.
And that's much better. I might not be 100% satisfied with it, but it's a lot better than it was before. You will always do a lot of listen, go back and edit. Listen, go back and edit. It's like doing a very good writing response. You have to go back and listen and assess your work. On a final note, in terms of effects and things, another common thing that happens is you can't hear one of your classmates. Maybe somebody just spoke too softly, and no matter how many times you re-record, they still wind up sounding too soft. If you go up to Effect, you can select Amplify, and if you've highlighted some amount of text that you want amplified, say all of the piece that they're speaking, then you can decide how much you want it turned up. Or, conversely, you can have it turned down if somebody was way too loud. And that's in here. And it had a preview option as well. There's always edit, undo, if there was something you wanted to get rid of. And when you're all ready and it's all done, saving your project, save project as, will save it as an Audacity file. And the computer will tell you that. If you do export, export is going to give you the opportunity to turn it into a WAV file. And that's the kind of file that your teacher is going to want you to submit, and that's the kind of file that anybody can listen to on about any device. So you're going to make sure that you've saved it. When you're in draft mode, you're going to make sure you've saved it as an Audacity file, and when you're ready to publish, save it as a WAV file. A WAV file can no longer be edited. That is truly a published piece. So do make sure you save your Audacity file in case you want to go back and edit again. All right, thank you and have fun.